just throwing your empty bottle in the garbage.
Don't you know plastics go in the blue container?
Mayor Frank Jackson and the City of Cleveland are committed to keeping your neighborhood clean and green through the use of the city-issued trash and recycling carts. It's safe, convenient, and mandatory. For more information, contact the Cleveland Division of Waste Collection at 216-664-3717.
How did you get to be so smart?
I had a good teacher.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen of all ages. Welcome to the 177th Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Right.
Well, my name is Don Bavris, and with me is...
I'm Tommy Malloy. How are you doing, folks? It's going to be a great day here. Sun is shining. Hey, it's March in Cleveland. Going to be a little bit of a chill, but it's beautiful down here. There's a lot of people down here. It's a Sunday, and right now the parade is starting down at the other end of the avenue here on Superior Street. Bob Seville's got some dignitaries down there. They're going to do the national anthems, and after that, you got the Grand Marshal's whistle, and they're going to be heading our way 20,000 feet. Going to be stepping in this parade right here in Cleveland, Ohio today.
That's right, Tommy. There are about 180-some floats, and we're expecting probably anywhere between about 250,000 people might see the parade live. And then again, all those people that are going to be on watching it on
That's
television.
right.
And also, it's going to be on YouTube later on this month. So make sure you look for that as well. Again, this is the 62nd consecutive year the United Irish Societies of Greater
Correct.
Cleveland have been putting this together. And believe me, it's a lot of work to put this together.
Oh, yeah.
They start probably throughout the entire year, actually.
Yeah, they'll be starting in a couple of weeks to get everything rolling for next year. So.
And
it's a big
again,
deal.
the selection committee is working very hard with the City of Cleveland and all the public officials and the whole host of different organizations that are involved. And it's quite an undertaking. Again, we have to thank Executive Director Shannon Corcoran for putting this all together along with her team. They do an outstanding job every year.
So stay with us here. Got everything coming up to you on TV 20. This year's 177th St. Patrick's Day Parade in Cleveland. And now we're going to head down to Bob Seville down at the East 18th and Superior for the start of the parade. Bob.
Welcome to Cleveland's longest tradition, the 177th annual Cleveland St. Patrick's Day. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Seville here at the beginning of the parade route. We're going to meet over 10,000 marchers, not all of them, of course, but 100,000 people are expected downtown. We are going to speak to the Irish dignitaries and honorees today. So we're going to have a great day on a Sunday this year, Cleveland St. Patrick's Day 2019. Welcome. Okay, we're joined by Thomas Mcdonough here. I told him he's new to the parade because I've seen him every year since I was a kid. Thomas, you've been involved with this parade for a lot of years. Tell us about the parade, what you do, and what the tradition is.
Well, this is my 48th year with the parade. I'm Executive Director Emeritus. We help organize the parade. We're glad it's a Sunday. Sundays are days that will draw tremendous crowds, particularly with the sun and the weather. So we expect a big crowd, a big day. We have over 130 units in the parade.
If people want to know about the parade, getting involved, committees, whether they're Irish or not, how do they find out more?
Well, if they go to our website, United Irish Societies of Greater Cleveland, we're looking for younger people to become involved. As you know, I've 48 years. I'm ready to retire from this, but we welcome new blood.
Well, I did my quick math from Rhodes High School, and that equates to what you've done about a quarter of the parades or 1/5 of the parades. Very impressive, sir. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay, we're joined by Mr. and Mrs. Lally, who are honoraries today. Tell me about your function, and this is a West Side honor, but an honor with St. Patrick's Day regardless.
Yeah, Rita and I have been members of the West Side Irish American Club for about 50 years, and it's a great organization, a lot of volunteerism, and finally they voted me Man of the Year, and it's a great honor. Rita and I couldn't be happier, and the club's been a big part of our life.
You must be very proud of your husband.
I am, and I'm proud that we're carrying on the Irish tradition for our children and grandchildren as well. And go ahead. I'm just, thank God we have the West Side and East Side Irish American clubs because they're the facilitators of all these activities.
I grew up on the South Side, no Brooklyn. I'm a West Sider technically, but always felt like a little bit of both and a lot of camaraderie, which is what really St. Patrick's Day is all about.
It is. A little known secret, although I belong to the West Side IA, Irish American Club, Rita and I both grew up in the southeast side of Cleveland. We went to Holy Name High School.
Sure you did.
We graduated in '64, and we're still together.
Well, that's a great story, and I have to say I'm a Holy Name alum from grade school. My dad, Ivan Seville, is an alum from 1947. So without people stepping in front of a camera, we're going to have a great day today, and thank you for your time, and God bless you.
Okay, thank you.
Day.
Okay, we're joined by Sean Carey, who's the sound man every year for the St. Patrick's Day. For how many years, Sean?
29 years now.
Wow, that's it?
I've been coming to the parade a lot longer than that, but I got fed up with what I was hearing and offered Jim, if you hire me, you'll never hear it again. And it's been Irish ever since. All Irish, all day.
I like it. You do a great job with all the traditional ceremonial things we're about to experience. The American, the Irish national anthem. Tell me about what it's like to set it up.
My favorite 5 minutes of the parade. They got to come out here and listen to Katie Cooper, put on the beautiful Irish anthem,
Absolutely.
and sing the American anthem right after. They introduce the Grand Marshal, and away we go. One more time, huh?
Yes, and tell us about the blowing of the whistle.
The blowing of the whistle by the Grand Marshal is right up here on the steps. It's a traditional thing every year. They have the sterling silver whistle that they give the Grand Marshal, and I do believe he gets to keep that. I do believe. He might have to give it back.
It's a great tradition, and it's Cleveland's longest tradition, Cleveland St. Patrick's Day. Thank you so much.
Bob, you're great. Thank you so much. Channel 20, you're fantastic. Thank you much.
All right, we're joined by Paul Ertl and Emmy Ertl. They are guarantors of the parade. What is that, Paul?
Well, it's a group of people that have always supported the parade both financially and with their time and efforts, making sure it comes off as one of the best parades in the country, if not the world.
Absolutely. Now, how great is it to be down here with your family?
Well, with the family, it's always the best. It's always nice, too, when God gives us the weather, which he did a little brisk, but we got sunshine.
Tell us what's happening up this coming summer at Nautica real quick.
Well, we're cranking up the concerts. The Nautica Queen schedule starting to book in. Big, busy weekends going on. We got 2 parade of lights going on over the weekends. The All-Star Game activities going on at Nautica, which is a big thing. And, of course, the parade of ships coming in this year.
That'll be great.
Yeah, that's going to be fabulous. A good summer lined up for Cleveland. And, of course, the All-Star Game was spectacular at the ballpark. Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
God bless the Dolans.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for your time today.
Fine Irish people that they are.
That's right. Thank you for supporting Cleveland St. Patrick's Day Parade and all you do for our city at Nautica. It's an annual tradition, not only for the Cleveland's longest tradition, the Cleveland St. Patrick's Day Parade, but also to talk to Mayor Jackson. Mayor, here we go again. You got great planning with great weather. Right. We have about 10,000 people marching and about 100,000 people down here on a beautiful Sunday. What are your thoughts?
Well, I always look at the weather on St. Patrick's Day because it can get real cold. Today is a good day weather-wise, and as you said, that means more people will come out and enjoy the festivities. And St. Patrick's Day is a day where people do come out and have a good time.
We've had some good parades, like every year St. Patrick's Day. We had a great event and a one-of-a-kind lifetime experience with the Cavs Parade. Right. This year we have the All-Star Game coming to Cleveland. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's another event. It's another event, and when you have an All-Star Game, it's not the game. It's time leading up to it. And so there's a lot of activity that will be going on around that, and a lot of people will be in Cleveland to participate in those activities as well as the All-Star Game itself.
Well, thanks for all you've done to bring it to Cleveland, and have a great day, Mayor.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. How lucky are we on St. Patrick's Day 2019 to be joined by none other than the Grand Marshal, Bill Holman. Bill, what are your thoughts on this beautiful day? You've got your whole family behind us. It's quite a clan.
It's a great day. It's dry. The temperature doesn't matter. The sun's out. Couldn't be any better.
You know, you're standing right exactly from where you graduated from. St. Ignatius to the west, Cleveland State to the east, right here at Superior Avenue. Do you have a lot of thoughts about this street and this tradition?
Well, the parade, mostly. That's what we remember most about this street. It's been a lot of years that we've been doing this. I've been doing it for 41 years.
That's it?
And after my father passed, I took some of his ashes and spread them out through the entire parade route. So he's going to be a permanent part of this parade.
I love it. That's a great story. Good luck today. It's quite an honor to meet you, and good luck, and God bless you. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you and your beautiful family.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, how blessed are we on St. Patrick's Day to be joined by none other than the Bishop of Cleveland, Bishop Nelson Perez. Welcome, Bishop.
Thank you. Thank you. It's awesome to be here on this incredible day that God has given us. It's a picture-perfect day.
Absolutely. What are the spiritual aspects of St. Patrick's Day, do you believe?
Well, you know, St. Patrick's is this 5th century incredible figure who was born in Britain, then was taken to Ireland as a slave, goes back to Britain, comes back as a priest, becomes a bishop, and brings Christianity to the people of Ireland. What a gift, right? And here we are 1,500 years later, still remembering this guy for his faith, for his commitment to the gospel, and for his love for his people. And so those are the values of St. Patrick, right? A great devotion, dedication to his faith, and sharing that Christian faith with everybody he met. And he changed the whole country.
Thank you for your time. And lastly, what has the transition been like to be an East Coaster moving to the Midwest in Cleveland, Ohio?
It's been wonderful. It's actually been really peaceful and joyful. Midwestern warmth and hospitality is out of this world.
Okay, here we go. We're joined by the inside and outside co-chairs of the Cleveland St. Patrick's Day Parade, Sister Carita Ambro and Patty Hannaran. I'm going to start with you, Patty. Tell me about the co-chairs and what it means.
Well, I'm the inside co-chair, and that means that I'm a part of the United Irish Societies, which is the organization that sponsors the parade. So I represent them as the inside person.
And how about you, Sister Carita? Everybody knows you about your activities. St. Augustine's, you're retired now after 45 years and greater. Tell me about your role.
My role has been just to be honored, honestly, and to learn all these new people that I've met and enjoyed and loved. And being at the West Side and the East Side clubs were overwhelming. It's just a beautiful experience. I haven't had to work, but I've had a lot of fun.
Well, you're taking no credit. You've done all the work you could to make Cleveland a greater city, as you have, Patty, but especially with all the activity that you've done at St. Augustine's in Tremont. And I want to thank you on behalf of the City of Cleveland, TV20, both of you, for your time, and wish you happy St. Patrick's Day.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Cleveland's 177th anniversary of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Today, for the 62nd consecutive year, presented by the United Irish Societies of Greater Cleveland. Joining us on the steps this year are the honorees of the United Irish Societies 2019 St. Patrick's Day Parade. We also have the mayor of the city of Cleveland, Mr. Frank Jackson. And we would like to thank the mayor and his entire staff for the wonderful job you've gotten done every year to get this city ready for our parade. We thank you. And also we're accompanied today by the Most Reverend Bishop Nelson Perez, the Bishop of the City of Cleveland, Diocese of Cleveland. The 2019 Grand Marshal is William Bill Holman. With him are his wife Pat and his children Heather, John, Marcella, and Aaron. The 2019 Irish Mother of the Year is Mrs. Eileen Kilroy. Accompanying her are her children Patrick, Dominic, Marty, Julia, Joe, Stephen, and Katie. Coming all the way from Ireland is Eileen's son-in-law, Danica, and granddaughter Deirdre. This year's outside team co-chair is a name that everybody in this crowd knows from everything that she's done during her lifetime. Sister Rita Ambro from St. Augustine Parish. Accompanying Sister Rita are her, Paul, and Jane Bennett. Our inside co-chair this year is Mrs. Patty Hanrahan. Her husband Tim and daughter Megan are with her today. It is my pleasure to introduce our special guest from Ireland, Mr. Paul Gallagher, and his wife, Lana Roy. They are here at the invitation of our longtime parade supporter, Mr. Tom Scanlon. On a sad note, this parade this year is dedicated to the memory of Director Emeritus William Carney. He was Executive Director from 1989 to 1992. With him, or honoring him today, is leading is fiancée Lene Meany, his children Linda Carney, Katie and Mike Profeta, Sue and John Miller, Bill and Samantha Carney, his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren are also accompanying us today. Now Miss Katie Cooper will lead us in the singing of both American and national anthems, and please remove your caps if you're wearing them. Stand up on that wheel.
Thank you.
please, Bishop Perez will be leading us in prayer before the parade starts.
Happy St. Patty's, Cleveland! So we recognize that we are in the presence of our loving God, and we thank God, first of all, for this incredible, beautiful day, sunny day, for the warmth of us all gathered together, for the gift of the people of Ireland, for sharing St. Patrick with us, for the values of faith and the passion of his life that becomes now our passion and our faith, and the life that he lived becomes the life that we imitate. We ask you, Heavenly Father, to bless all of us gathered here today. We ask you to listen to all of our prayers, our joys, and our sadnesses that we present to you through the intercession today, in a particular way, St. Patrick, the Apostle of Pardon. Amen. And may Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Executive Director Shannon Corcoran present the whistle to Mr. Bill Holman to start the 177th St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Congratulations.
Go Bills!
Ready to go?
Thank you, Bob. Again, the parade is just to cross here into Public Square.
Just getting down here to Public Square, right?
Yes, and again, we always have the same types of units at the beginning of the parade, and that's all of our first responders and police officers. And of course, he's the...
Boy, there's
again,
those motorcycles again. Woo. They are loud and proud. Cleveland Police. And this year's parade, folks, being dedicated to the memory of Director Emeritus William Carney. Bill Carney, great guy. His daughter Linda Carney is here. Katie and Mike, his son Mike and his wife. And Bill and Samantha Carney, the grandchildren are here. Just a big deal. This guy was a real cool guy. He was Director Emeritus for 3 years, did his stint there. He's also Grand Marshal of the parade. So they're remembering him here today, dedicating it to just a guy who was very active with all the different clubs and just very active in the Irish community.
And again, we do have a Grand Marshal, an Irish Mother of the Year. We have our inside co-chairs and an outside co-chair. And this year, the 2019 Grand Marshal is William Bill Holman, and with him is going to be his wife, Pat, and children Heather, John, Marcella, and Aaron.
And the Mother of the Year, the Irish Mother of the Year, is Mrs. Eileen Kilroy. And if you don't know who the Kilroy Cayley Band is, that's her kids. Patrick, Dominic, Marty, Julia, Joe, Steve, and Katie. I know every one of them. And all the way from Ireland, Eileen's son-in-law, Donica. He's married, I believe, to Julia. And their granddaughter, Deirdre. Really good family, and she is a terrific lady, too. Right now, I think we have the Civic Association, I believe, which is usually made up of some judges and a few other public officials going by us right now.
And again, our inside co-chairs this year is Mrs. Patty Mailer Hanrahan and her husband and Tim and her daughter Megan are with us today, and also Sister Corita Ambro, who is our outside co-chair, and she is accompanied by Paula and Jane Bennett.
Yeah, and the way the United Irish Societies worked that is they select someone from the committee, that's the inside co-chair, and someone from outside the committee of some notoriety who's done some good for the community, and that's the outside co-chair, and that's how those two folks get their titles for the year and get to celebrate, and they're honored, and rightfully so, too.
You know, St. Patrick's Day is a great day to celebrate spring, but when that celebration gets out of control, you can sometimes find yourself on the wrong side of the law.
No, you don't want that.
And that's when you can tune into Cleveland's Justice and see the municipal court judges doing their judicial duties. Cleveland Justice every day at 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. only on TV 20. We are Cleveland.
That's right. Hey, Bob Seville, you got somebody to talk to today for us?
Okay, we're here with some patrons on St. Patrick's Day Parade. I wish you guys were a little more colorful, but you're not bad. Tell me your names and where you're from.
Alan Freeman, Orwell.
Okay.
Jamie, Orwell.
Dax Pond.
And you're also from Orwell?
Orwell, yeah.
Where is Orwell, Ohio?
In Ashtabula County.
Ashtabula County. Okay, so you came from the east side. Young man, I like the hat you're wearing. Have you?
Thank you. It's very...
Tell me, did you make it?
No. Store-bought.
And how about you? Who's your stylist?
All me.
All right. And what brought you guys come every year? You came from Ashtabula County all the way to Cuyahoga. You having a great time?
Yeah. All right, great. Yeah, we've been here. This is our second time.
Let's say it together, count of three. Ready? Happy St. Patrick's Day. 1, 2, 3. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
And you know, thanks, Bob. And I'd love to know who's doing Mom and Dad's hair. That was pretty cool.
It's a beautiful day here in Cleveland, by the way. For those of you interested in the weather, it's about 40 degrees, sunny. Sometimes we have some great weather. It is Cleveland, after all, in spring. It could be snowy, but we've got a great day for this year's parade.
Don and I marched in 39 of these, and some of them were beautiful, 70s, gorgeous, and some of them, I don't know how. I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. I don't know how I kept a hold of the fife and the fife and drum unit because our hands were just totally numb. But we plowed through, we did it, and that's what these kids will do today too, you know. They're troopers.
You talk about planning. In case it gets very cold and under 32 degrees, some of the bands cannot play. So they have a makeup day a week from Sunday, which is, in this case, it'd be March 24th. But they don't need it right now because the day is absolutely fantastic. As I said, about 300,000 people may show up on today's parade route. We also have Bob Seville. Bob, what's happening on your end of the world?
All right. Okay, we're joined by some other St. Patrick's Day parade patrons. Ma'am, what's your name and where are you from?
Nina from Parma, Ohio.
Parma, okay. I grew up in Old Brooklyn, not far by.
Oh.
Tell me who's with you here today.
My family.
Let's meet some other folks as we go down the parade route. Guys, tell me where you're from and what your name is.
My name is Jose.
I'm from Cleveland. Okay, how about you guys?
I'm his dad.
Okay.
And then we're from Cleveland.
Okay, we're trying to find something besides a green on St. Patrick's. Oh, here's somebody with red hair.
Huh?
What's your name and where are you from, young man?
Cody.
Okay.
And
hi.
I'll say hi to everybody. How about you guys? Where are you from?
Hi, Cleveland.
Okay.
Cleveland.
All right. How about you guys? You want to be on TV?
No, I'm good.
Now, you've got some great colors here, ma'am. Are you having a good time today?
I am,
And where are you from?
Originally from Texas, but I live here now.
Wow, okay. You having a good time?
I am.
What are you looking forward to the most to seeing at the parade today?
Leprechaun.
Oh, there you go. All right, back to you, Tommy and Don.
All right, thanks, Dad. I'll tell you, hey, just to show you, it just goes to show you, this isn't just a day for the Irish. There's an awful lot of people down here, just families coming down to see the spectacle, coming down to celebrate their city, and not just, you know, it's for the Irish, it's an Irish Day, St. Patrick's Day, but all the ethnic groups in this city that help build it and are keeping it going today, that's really what this day is about. And those folks are here for that, just for that. So, and here's our Grand Marshal, Bill Holman. He's coming by us right now. He's back there in the car. That's not Bill. That's one of his kids. I think that's his son. And his daughter there in the middle, I believe Aaron is in there somewhere. Oh, no, you know what? Aaron is marching. That is his daughter-in-law, I believe, in the middle.
And, of course, we talked about the Irish Mother of the Year, Miss Eileen Kilroy, with Eileen as her children, Patrick, Dominic, Marty, Julia, Joe, Kevin, and Katie. That is quite a family.
Well, they are. They're quite a band as well. They are a big Irish band here in Cleveland, and now they're into the second generation. Mrs. Kilroy's grandkids are now playing with them, and they are multi-talented. They all play instruments. They all sing, and you know what? On top of all that, they're just terrific people. They're really cool kids. Well, they're all adults now. They're my age, but they're just a great family. They really are, and she's done a great job. And this is I think an honor that is long overdue for her. So it's good to see her get it.
Well, congratulations to her and her family. And again, thank you for joining us. We are, again, the 177th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. Again, it is March 17th, 2019, and we'd like to thank TV20 for today's coverage. And again, they'll be playing this on their YouTube as well as on their channel coming up this week. And, you know, it's always a sure sign of spring when the St. Patrick's Day Parade happens. Spring is still a few days away, and the Indians are playing spring ball, so we're looking forward to a great spring and a great year.
And it's usually the sign that winter is actually dying. So hopefully this will be, you know, a little chilly again, as I said earlier, but you know, the sunshine's coming, springtime's coming, and then summertime. So this is a great day to be out today. Sunshine's beautiful. So, you know, if you're not down here yet, well, I guess you wouldn't be down here because we're going to get this on tape. But listen, come down next year. It's a great time. And Bob Seville, he's got somebody for us. Bob, what do you got?
Okay, guys. All right, we're staying with our theme of adding more color to the St. Patrick's Day Parade. You got the whole family here. Ma'am, what's your name?
Candy.
Okay, Candy.
Russell.
Tell me about your hair, Russell.
It's yellow.
I tried to change it up a little with the orange.
And you got your bodyguard back there.
Sure.
Hi there, Anthony.
All right. And also
Russ.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Back to the parade.
Thank you, Bob. I think now we have the United Irish Societies. This is the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee. Executive Director Shannon Corcoran, she oversees the whole thing, and she has several deputy directors who are her right-hand people, their assistants. Rasa Chambers, Linda Carney, Sarah O'Brien Dirk, Marielle. I mean, I could read down the entire list. These are folks who are putting a lot of time in, a lot of effort, and using their talents. They don't get paid. Nobody gets paid in this thing. They do this because they love their heritage, and they also love the city and the community, and so that's why they're here. And they work all year long. As I said before, they're going to start in about another week, 2 weeks, planning for next year's parade. So those folks deserve a real big pat on the back for everything they do here.
And you saw it briefly there. Someone's wearing a sash called the Parade Guarantors.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about those.
Well, if you've noticed, there is no sponsorship to the parade. There's none of that stuff because they don't want to get involved in that. This parade is done. It's a very grassroots effort. There's the folks who are called guarantors. There's over 300 of them this year, I think, and they pay they donate $25 for a sash. They get to march in the parade if they like. An awful lot of folks just donate the money and don't march, or they march with a different unit with one of the Irish clubs or that kind of thing. Here they come now. But also, the parade is funded by $10 donations for a little St. Patrick's Day pin with the year on it. It's a shamrock pin, and that helps fund the parade as well. So it's a real grassroots kind of thing, and it's been working for all these many years. I think it was almost 60 years now with this group, and it's just a really cool thing because it really is the community at work putting this parade on.
It's so nice to see just the level of coordination between, again, not only to the city, but the state and the county government and, of course, all the city services that we have here in Cleveland, from streets to police.
That's right.
It takes a lot of coordination, but they've been doing it for 62 years. So we hope they've got it down. But
and you have to have that because there's all these police around here. They have a safety meeting, several of them with the local safety forces, EMS, all those folks, and then they also have to talk to the politicians to help get funding for this and that because, these streets have to be closed off and all those things have to be taken care of, all those details, and that's before anyone even sets foot on the avenue. So keep that in mind. It's a big deal.
Yes. And talk about security. They did have Homeland Security is also here to making sure everyone is safe, and we congratulate them on a job well done.
And speaking of those public officials, here's a couple of them now. Now, what happens is now they have one group, one unit of all the public officials. There are a couple throughout the parade who are grandfathered in before they decided to do this, because if they had all these officials in individual, their own cars and everything, this parade would be going on and on and on for hours and hours, and we'd still be here. So you just saw them walk by there. I think that was, I think we just saw Matt Zone there from the Detroit Shorey neighborhood. And right now, we have the Cleveland Police Department Honor Guard and the pipes and drums. You can hear them now. Boy, beautiful stuff.
Let's take a listen. And again, we have the Cleveland Police Honor Guard. They are coordinated by P.O. Tim Riley, and again, they represent the colors at numerous civic and professional athletic events, and also at the National Police Memorial Service in Washington, D.C.
We also had the Cleveland Police Department Chief and Command Staff. Chief Calvin Williams was in there, as well as the Mounted Unit. Those guys, I'll tell you, they know how to work a crowd, and I mean by keeping them in order. Good stuff there. We almost lost them a couple years ago with funding difficulties, but everything got back in order, and we still have them. And we also just had the Greater Cleveland Emerald Society went past.
And of course, ATF, as we talked about, the federal presence is here, and again, keeping everybody safe. So again, we thank them.
But that's hard work, They got to know their stuff and be on top of their game, and they're constantly learning new things. So, you got to stay ahead of the bad people who aren't interested in us celebrating some good things of our communities and things like that. So, kudos to them for all the work they do.
And of course, we got just passing was the retired and retirable police officers from 24 local police departments, all with an Irish heritage. Again, led by President Edward Sullivan and Man of the Year, Tom McGuire.
Yeah, good people there, the Rips. And the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 25 coming by now with their honor guard. Their members are full-time, active, and retired police officers serving the western Cuyahoga suburbs, and they're committed to honoring their fallen brothers and sisters. Very worthwhile cause there. And I believe there's the honor guard there. They look pretty darn good with those flags held high, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel so safe with having all the police officers around here.
And now I think we are looking at, is that still some of their honor guard there, or is that the Cleveland Heights Police Department?
It's going to be the Sheriff's Department.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Being represented. And I guess there's a lot of tradition here. Like yourself, you've been in the parade for many, many years. I'm sure that's the same with many of the marchers in today's parade have been there, and almost a tradition.
Generations, too. Generations. Moms and dads, and now their kids are going, and grandkids sometimes, too. You know. So the Sheriff's Department deputies, corrections officers, protection service officers, all of them are sheriff's deputies. 1,200 employees of the Cuyahoga County Sheriff, and Sheriff Clifford Pinckney is along here with them today. And there go their motorcycles.
And there's nothing like the mounted police. That is just a great asset that the city has to keep law and order. They're just absolutely magnificent animals and very well taken care of. And there's a lot of pride you can tell walking down the street.
I was down here during the Republican convention a couple years ago, and boy, they were just majestic. They were terrific. And at one point in time, they had, I think, about 20 or 25 of them lined up side by side, and it was really a sight to see, I'll tell you.
Again, we just that's the Cleveland Police Department mounted unit, and also the Metro Parks Rangers mounted unit. And let's see what Bob is up to. Bob, what's happening on the streets?
Okay, I'm only 5'12". I had to find somebody taller than me to march in the St. Patrick's Day with. Tell me, sir, you're with the U.S. Army. What's your rank?
I'm Staff Sergeant, sir.
Yes, sir.
So E6 Staff Sergeant, U.S. Army.
Are you from Cleveland originally?
No, I am not. My wife is.
Where are you from originally?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Great. Well, say hi to everybody in Cleveland.
Hi, everybody in Cleveland! Go Army! Woo!
Very good. That was that gentleman was along with the U.S. Army Honor Guard, the soldiers of the Cleveland Recruiting Battalion, and their battalion commander, Lieutenant Seamus Garrett, was with them today.
And the next unit coming down Superior Avenue is the very first time in the parade. This is the 122nd Army Band of the Ohio National Guard.
Good stuff.
And they are coordinated by Andrew Sunman. Let's take a listen. Thank them for their participation. We hope to see you next year.
And for their service as well. Those guys, they may be musicians, but they're also well-versed in being good soldiers, too. So keep that in mind. And here's the Coast Guard. They're in a boat, but it's not on the water.
They'll be very busy this summer. Again, we'd like to thank the U.S. Coast Guard for keeping us safe on the water.
They are one of our armed forces as well. A lot of folks forget about that, but the Coast Guard does an awful lot of good work, especially drug interdiction, things of that nature, but also rescuing folks, and not just, up in crazy places like Alaska and things you might see on some of the television shows, those fishing shows and things, but also right here in the Great Lakes when folks get into trouble. So good work for them. And here's the Navy, too, right behind them. That's their Honor Guard, coordinated by Kaylee Leopold.
And then we also have the USO of Northern Ohio. For up to 76 years, the USO of Northern Ohio has been leading organizations to serve the men and women in the U.S. military and their families throughout their time in uniform.
Now, if you notice, this is not really the first division. This is just a lot of the governmental and a lot of the honor guards here. Here we have the Cleveland Firefighters Shamrock Club, Local 23. Oh, I'm sorry, we have the USO of Northern Ohio, pardon me. They serve the men and women in the U.S. military and their families.
And the USO has quite the parade this year.
Right, look at this. He's not Lee Greenwood, but he's darn close.
That's almost like the second national anthem, I think.
I think so. And I believe the Firefighter Shamrock Club is coming up, Local 93. Led by firefighter Martin McGinty and Lieutenant Dean Murad. There they are on the screen there. And they've got the Shamrock, they've got their pipe band as well. The Shamrock Club president is Thomas McGinty, and Firefighters Local 93 President Tim Corcoran is also along with them today.
And of course, following closely behind is the Cleveland Firefighters Memorial Pipe and Drums. The Cleveland Firefighters Memorial Pipe and Drums is currently in their 26th season. Composed primarily of firefighters, the band's primary mission is to honor our fallen.
There we go. That's really terrific. Listen to that. There was a resurgence of pipe bands in the city in the early to mid 70s, and now there are, I don't know how many safety forces, but there's also other independent bands, and it's really a cool thing. And you see them, well, a lot of these guys play in 2 or 3 of the different bands as well, too. So it's a good thing. And here's your Cleveland Firefighters.
This looks like the entire Cleveland Fire Department, actually.
Yes, it is, just about. This is Local 93 here, led by Chief Angelo Cavillo. These are the folks, remember, that when we're running out of a building, they're running in. So that deserves a lot of applause. A lot of familiar faces out there. I know a lot of these guys.
Lots of smiles all around. They're just absolutely proud to be police officers or firefighters and walking in today's parade.
There we go. That's an awful lot of them. And I think that the assistant chief's van there is it's there to keep them moving, so they don't glad-hand and talk to everybody along the route. That was a joke there, Don.
Keep it moving. We now have the Cleveland Fire Department. It would not be a parade without the Cleveland Fire Department blowing their horn, as they say.
And there's another one. Here we go. Here's Shaker Heights.
And that was the Western Reserve Fire Museum of Cleveland, their representatives. Look at the young girls on the back of the fire truck having a wonderful time.
Now, that museum is catty-corner to Progressive Field over there. It's one of the old fire stations, and it's a terrific place. It would behoove any resident of this city to go check that out and see the history of these people who have been fighting to protect all of us for so many generations.
And following up with them is the Lakewood Fire Department.
That's right.
This is their 8th appearance at the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And they have been representing the Lakewood Fire Department, who have been proudly serving the city of Lakewood and its 58,000 residents for the past 115 years. This group is dedicated to honoring all firefighters who have given their oath of service.
And they're followed up by our Cleveland EMS. That's Carey Local 1975. That's the paramedics and their families marching together in support, coordinated by Sharon Kozel. Good folks, those guys. Oh, here we go.
And this is a unique unit.
Yeah.
This is, again, the very first time in the parade. It is the 73rd Ohio Volunteer Infantry Regiment Band, who is an organization dedicated to the preservation of Civil War-era band music. Let's take a listen.
They look authentic, and they're under the direction of John Huffman Jr.
They came from Waverly, Ohio. So thanks for being with us, guys.
And not to be undone, the Company B of the 8th Ohio Volunteer Infantry Hibernian Guard is right behind them. They go back as far as April 15th of 1861, when President Lincoln called for 75,000 volunteers to put down the Southern Rebellion. And Northeast Ohio gave one of the most enthusiastic responses. These first callers, as they're called, were sworn in as Company B of the 8th Ohio Volunteer Infantry. And there's the Hibernian of the Year, Marianne McAway. Bob Seville, who do you have for us?
Here we go, guys. Okay, here we are back in the middle of the parade route. Ma'am, tell me about your organization.
We're the Ladies Ancient Order of Hibernians and the Ancient Order of Hibernians. We're a national organization. These are the local divisions. And our motto is friendship, unity, and Christian charity.
And your name and where are you from?
I'm Teresa Riley Kowalski. I'm from Rocky River.
Thank you for coming. Who's marching with you?
This is Mark.
Hi, Martin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Say happy St. Patrick's Day. And you are?
Andrew.
All right, Andrew. Where's the cameras? All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. And again, they are the Hibernians are the oldest Irish Catholic organization in the U.S. And they're celebrating their 125th anniversary this year.
And it's not just men, as you saw there. That was the LAOH, the Ladies Ancient Order of Hibernians. Really something. That's the Our Lady of the Rosary. President is Corinne Lynch. And they're here for their Hibernian sisters and brothers, celebrating today. Maura Leffel is the national fundraiser. Teresa Corey is the state vice president of the Ladies Ancient Order of Hibernians. And also, you did see the Ancient Order of Hibernians Bowl and Berry division was in there as well. Jim Kilbane, former director of the parade, and also a drummer with the West Side Irish American Club for decades and decades. Terrific guy and really active in the Irish community here in Cleveland. Here they are now. Here's the AOH.
And this is the Bluestone Division. It was organized in 2013. And Bill Nyland is the current president, and vice president is Dave McLaughlin. We are now moving into Division 1, which is all of the divisions that are in competition, if you will. And this year it is the East Side that gets the chance to step off here in Division 1.
And they lead this one every year, these guys. This is one of the two Irish clubs in the city. We used to have three, and hopefully we'll get there's one out in Lorain County, and hopefully we'll get that back soon enough. But this is the East Side Club. The Irish American Club East Side is their technical name. And they've got fifes and drums, pom-pom units. They've got all the stuff. You're going to see all these units, and it's terrific. These young kids, all the way up to a lot of older folks in their 70s, even some in their 80s, too. And they'll be on the avenue, too. Here's their pipe band coming. These are the pipes and drums of the Irish American Club East Side under the direction of Pipe Major Bruce Gregg and Drum Sergeant Michael Keenan. Take a listen to that. Beautiful stuff.
And coming down the Superior Avenue is the East Side is proud to honor the 2019 Member of the Year, Mary Campbell Stack, accompanied by her family.
Now, her father was a Grand Marshal. Her mother was a Mother of the Year. Her brother runs the Pride of Erin on the west side of Cleveland. There are East Siders, though, so you can see there's a lot of back and forth both sides of town. Very friendly rivalry, but also, you know, everyone just does whatever needs to be done, no matter what the club is or what the cause is. People just get involved. Really cool thing. And families. I mean, it's just great. Great to see.
And we have also the executive board will also be marching in today's parade. Again, thank President Mary Alice Curran and Vice President Kevin McCluskey and Secretary Linda Walsh, Treasurer Patty Campbell, Membership Secretary Kathy Foster, and members at large Debbie Arndt, Chris Faith, Aaron Holman, and Sue McGill.
Now, Aaron Holman there, that is our Grand Marshal's daughter, the daughter of Bill Holman, who she's in the fife and drum here in the first row on the far end from us. And she's marching with her unit. You know, she'd like to be up there with her dad, but this is how the Irish do it. You're part of the unit, you march with the unit. This is the Jack Mcdonough Fifes and Drums, led by Tom Davis, who was the grandson of the late Jack Mcdonough. Jack Mcdonough is an interesting character. He led the fife and drums on the west side at the West Side Irish Club, and then when the East Side Club formed, he went over there and he taught those kids too. Great guy. We lost him, I think he's got about 20 years ago now, but he is a legend in this city. And also, don't forget, guys, the great news today is not only are we getting closer to summer, but Cleveland Firefighters Shamrock Club rededicated the Fire Memorial down in the Cleveland Brown Stadium. You can see that and other news on the weekly news wrap-up every day at 7 a.m., noon, and 6. You can get that news, the whole news, and nothing but the news only on TV 20 because we are Cleveland.
Okay. Let's check in with Bob. Bob, what's happening on the street of Cleveland?
All right, here we are, street side, parade side. Where are you from?
I'm from here, East Cleveland.
And your name?
Delmar.
Okay. And you have the Please Don't Notice Me here. I had to say hello. Where are you from?
I'm from Cleveland as well.
And your name?
Erica.
Okay, who's that next to you?
Stacy Thomas from Parma, Ohio.
Welcome. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Good times, Bob.
Okay, Bob, thank you so much. And now the theme this year, every parade has a theme. This year it's the Irish Churches of the Cleveland Diocese, and some of these floats are going to have that theme. And boy, this is a great one for the East Side, the Irish American Club East Side, or we just call it the East Side Club. Really good stuff there, if you can see that.
And that recognized the very first Catholic church in the diocese, St. Mary's.
Or Our Lady of the Lake, as it was called colloquially.
St. Mary's of the Flats.
Yeah, great history there. And now here's the Diocesan Union of Holy Name Societies. These folks do an awful lot of good work in their individual parishes and to the city as a whole. They're coordinated by Robert Fitzgerald, and their spiritual director is Father Thomas Herring. And there they've got their older folks on Lally the Tralee, so they do get a chance to be in the parade as well. They also get to stay warmer than we're staying, right, Tom?
Absolutely, Tommy. And coming up next is the St. Mary Seminary of the Diocese of Cleveland and Borromeo Seminary of the Diocese of Cleveland. Again, these are seminarians for both Borromeo and St. Mary's, carrying the banner. And these men are from the Diocese of Cleveland, Youngstown, the Archdiocese of Daegu, South Korea, as well as the Capuchin, the Congregation of St. Joseph, and the Blessed Sacrament Orders.
And next, I believe we've got Sea of Blue. This is a support group for our men and women in blue, the policemen and women of this city. They're coordinated by Mary Jo Graves, and they're here marching. These are family members, friends, and just plain old supporters. Oh, look at those dogs there. And I think this is them again. Is this them here? There they are, respect and support police and firefighters. God bless our troops as well. That is a big machine, isn't it? And all that corned beef and cabbage from today, guys, might leave you feeling a bit bloated, but thankfully, TV20 brings the medical professionals straight to you with Healthy Cleveland. Stay updated on current health trends and issues with Healthy Cleveland only on TV20, because we are Cleveland. And again, so is the Cleveland Rovers Rugby Football Club, celebrating their 41st anniversary, coordinated by Danny Repkevich. Just got back. He just came up to the booth here. I spoke to him on the Rapid a couple days ago. He just got back from Savannah, big tournament down there.
And coming up is the all-city drum line as students from the 5th and 12th grade from schools across the Cleveland School District. And the director is Kimberly Sayas. And participants practice twice a week and are required to learn to read music.
And there's the Red Cross going by, in case any of us need to stay warm. They were giving out coffee last year before the parade, and here's their disaster relief van. They respond, they assist families who suffered home fire, other disasters. And listen, these folks are ready to go 24/7, 365 days a year. 366 in the leap year, too. And there's the plumbers right behind them. They're ready to go as well. They just charge more than the Red Cross.
And again, thank the local number 55. The plumbers local.
And you know, not everyone thinks of a plumber. They think your household, your sink, and these guys they're building construction, all this stuff. They work on a lot of complicated things, systems, all sorts of stuff, and they got to know more than just putting your pipes together. They got to know how to do a lot of these technical things as far as water pressure and piping and laying the line, all that stuff. Very, very complicated job, and those fellas earn their money, believe me. And here's their Lally the Trolley coming up as well.
And it's so great because they really are building Cleveland along with some of the other trade unions here. We have so much building in the downtown area and in suburbs. We're happy to have them.
Hey, Bob Seville, do you have somebody for us?
Talk about these beautiful animals. All right. Ma'am, what's your name and where are you from?
Patty Young from Hayesville, Ohio.
Wow, you've got a beautiful animal here. I'm going to pull you off to the left here so we can get a good shot at with our camera. Tell me about the alpacas.
They're from Gaelic Glen alpacas. We actually have Aberdeen alpacas. The owner is in the left.
That's okay. That's okay.
Suit behind us.
Okay, that's fine. Tell us more.
This is Killian's Red. Killian's Irish Red. He's 7 months old, and they're planning on starting to show him in local alpaca shows like down in Columbus.
It's beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah, keep moving. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bob. And you know, it's interesting, all the alpacas are born at the Gaelic Glen have Irish names. There's May Hart as an example of a Surrey full fleece, along with Glenna Mulligan, Killigan's Red Irish, and I love this name, Katie O'Dorable, and Mara Madigan. And they're expecting 3 more babies this year.
Really? And right behind them, the Vegan Society, so they have nothing to fear from these folks behind them. This is the Cleveland Vegan Society, creating a vegan-friendly Cleveland through education and advocacy. They work with citizens, they work with businesses, and also their own community. And they also have Veg Fest. It's May 18th this year, the Cleveland Veg Fest. Head on out there.
And next, coming down Superior Avenue, is the O'Kennedy Holland Irish Dance Academy. And it's led by teacher Eileen O'Kennedy Dunlop and the world champion Michael Holland.
They're part of the O'Hare School of Irish Dance. They've been around, O'Hare's been around for a long, long time. My wife danced for them when she was a teenager, 10 or 12 years ago. She'll appreciate that. The Ohio O'Hare School represented at the World Championships in Ireland in April. They'll be there. And all their Northeast Ohio dance studios are located in Medina, Akron, Canton. Registration is open year-round. You can join anytime. And they also have classes for adults. Don, I can't move like that anymore. Oh, no. My knees hurt just watching that.
It's like river dance already in the streets of Cleveland.
And here's the O'Hare Irish Dance Boosters nonprofit organization. This is usually the parents and friends. They'll promote all the dancing and get those kids to those big competitions they have to get to. Because it does cost money, folks.
What a great tradition. I mean, their parents probably were Irish dancers and their grandparents, and it goes through many generations of Irish dancing here in Cleveland.
And this is the first school we've seen today. There's going to be, I think, 4 or 5 more. So.
And with the smell of corned beef and music in the air, St. Patrick's Day is great to party. But you can keep that party going every weekday at 6 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. by watching Polka Train, a show that gives you happy feet and leaves the taste of kielbasa in your mouth. Polka Train, it's only on TV 20. We are Cleveland.
Don't they have the Polka Hall of Fame over there in Euclid?
I think so.
Check that out, folks. Here's St. Patrick West Park, their parishioners, and now there's their float. And Father Jim Old, their pastor, Father Rolls, he's retiring this year. He's been back at that. He was been pastor since 2012, but he actually grew up and went to school at the school there, and he grew up in that parish. Good guy, Father Rolls, and there's their other parishioners on Lally the Tralee.
He's been a priest for 44 years,
yeah.
And that's where I was married and baptized. So
was it really?
Yes, it's my home parish.
Right down the street from
Absolutely.
me.
And of course, the St. Patrick's Church lives its motto of alive in Christ.
And now the Dugan and Toomey families have their own family unit. That's kind of cool. They have a float. They honor St. Malachy Church, the parish established in 1865 to serve Irish immigrants here over on Cleveland's west side. It's named after 12th century monk and the Bishop of Armagh, Malachy. The original church, completed in 1868, was destroyed in fire in 1943 on Christmas Eve, no less. The current building was built in 1945. You see it, it's right there over the bridge. And they always have that green cross just glowing through the night as a beacon for those who are looking for help there.
You know, it's interesting, Tommy, that is really where, when the Irish came over in the 1840s, where they settled. They settled right at the mouth of the Cuyahoga River, and it was called the Angle at the time.
Correct.
And I think many of the streets are no longer there, but certainly St. Malachy's is a tribute to those Irish immigrants who came over 150 years ago.
Yeah, but then they were doing all the work on the river there and over in the canals and digging the canals and all that kind of stuff. So they needed some place to go after work and rest their weary bones and also get some spiritual nourishment. And here is St. Martin de Porres High School Band. You see them right there. They're kicking it out. They've got their high school drum line, their lionette step team, the high steppers, and their cheerleaders, coordinated by Mary Sayre.
And also is coming up next is the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, celebrating its 40th anniversary again.
Now.
This is their first time in the parade as well, so we thank them.
They're the ones who do Harvest for Hunger every year, feeding a lot of people in the outskirts of the city and also down here in the city. Great group. And that van is awfully loud. Hey, Bob Seville, got anybody interesting?
All right, guys, we're with Magnificat High School, right? All right. Let's hear some names.
Casey, Paris, Ellie, Carey, Taylor, Claire.
All right, and your name?
Taylor.
Back to you guys if I get back in time.
Thank you, Bob.
Very good, Bob.
Looks like you're having a great time there, Bob.
That's all their athletic teams led by athletic director Paul Barlow there on that old fire department truck from Cleveland.
And we must say, go Blue Streaks.
Yes, we must say that.
It says right on the side of the truck. And spring is around the corner, and that means one thing, Tommy.
Baseball.
Exactly. And here we have a group who's representing the Lake Erie Crushers.
I'll tell you, that stadium out there, I forget who's sponsoring the stadium now. I think they changed from the last time I was out there, but it's a great stadium. And these ball players, they're not like, you know, who we see down at Progressive Field. These guys will come, they'll sign a bat that's in their hand and give it to a kid in the stands. I mean, really terrific stuff. They really make the games worth going to. You got family, bring them out there. The tickets are a little less expensive, and the food is a little less expensive, and it's just a great time. It's a cozy ballpark, too. Here's the TNT Starlights. It's a baton and palm team from Northeast Ohio. They're national, international champions. They're also known as the Northeast Fire Twirlers. I don't see any of that right now. We could maybe use a little bit of heat, not too much.
And again, thank you for joining us on the 177th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade here in downtown Cleveland. The parade lasts about 2 hours, marching down Superior Avenue here in downtown Cleveland.
Great day for families, and you know, speaking of, there's a small, community. It's a large community here in Cleveland, the Irish community, but there's just an awful lot of people. But everyone knows each other. They're good friends. This is the Pioneer Total Abstinence Society, founded in Dublin, Ireland in 1898, established here in Cleveland in 1944 at St. Patrick Parish on Bridge Avenue. There's your president, John Lackey, spiritual director, Father Jim O'Donnell, and Father Pat Spicer, both Irish footballers, by the way, and their 2019 Pioneer of the Year, Kathleen Sheehan. Her son, Brendan, the judge, is in there with her as well. These are folks who give up drinking, as they say, take the pledge as a sacrifice, and for folks who don't take it very well. That's the best way I can put it diplomatically, Bob. Don.
Now, coming down the street is the Cleveland Irish Players. And this year we are honoring Kevin McGinty. And I know I've got Kevin passed away in September of this year. He and I did the parade several years ago. And I know, Tommy, you're close friends with Kevin as well.
I did 30 or so plays with this group. I toured Ireland with them 6 or 7 times. Near and dear to my heart. Great work. I know so many of the people out there, almost all of them, every single one of them, really.
And, you know, when he was a great storyteller, and some of them were actually true.
He was so much. Yes, some of them are actually true, yes.
Next, we have the Iron Workers, Local 17, led by Patrick Carney. They are erecting America's bridges and skyscrapers with the best trained and hardest working men and women in Cleveland.
I'll tell you, they were on strike about early 70s. And Dorothy Fuldine went up to see what they had to do when they were at work, and she came down and said, pay these guys whatever, because it's a dangerous, dangerous job.
Absolutely.
Bob Seville, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Guy. We're live again on the parade route. If you can hear us, your name and where you're from, sir?
Iron Workers, Local 17, Cleveland.
And you?
Same.
Okay. And what's the float?
What's the float?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The Local 17 float.
Local 17 float, yes.
All right, thank you. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Bob. We didn't want to have hard questions, but I think it was important.
And here comes University Circle, Inc. Their mission to build a community experience that connects everybody with Cleveland Center of Culture, Healing, and Learning. Chris Ronayne, is he out there? I think he is. He's there at the back. He's their director. Doing a lot of great work over there. I love it over there. The museums, just great fun to be over there.
And they've been keeping so active. There's so many different types of events out there.
Really great stuff.
And then we have a University Circle
department.
Mission to build a community experience that connects all people with Cleveland Center of Culture, Healing, and Learning.
They've got a heck of a contingent here. The police department and lifelong learning in the Circle, and now they've even got a mounted unit.
I did not know that, but the mounted unit has been ambassadors for the University Circle neighborhood since 1995. The horses are all different breeds and are owned and trained by their riders.
they've got Cleveland State coming up right behind them. Love Your Melon from CSU. It's an organization that raises awareness for pediatric cancer. And right here in the parade, it's a great way to participate in the community, bring attention to pediatric cancer in a fun and positive way. And they've got the energy to do it too, don't they?
Absolutely. And then, of course, Cleveland State University, well represented here. The Vikings.
There's Love Your Melon, LYM. Good work. Listen, that's stuff that, you know, a lot of folks overlook. We don't think about it in our day-to-day hustle and bustle. And, you know, folks need help. It's good to see that other folks are providing it.
Absolutely. To build awareness against this disease. So it's doing a great job.
And now the Irish Wolfhounds. Ancient breed that dates back to 400 AD. These dogs are a noble breed, and they were bred to eradicate wolves from Ireland. They're the tallest breed of dog in the world, and they're coordinated here, this unit, by Rosemary Noland. Gorgeous dogs, they really are.
You know, it's interesting, we talked about St. Patrick's Day, but it always said that the legend was St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland. And one legend has it that may not be any snakes in Ireland, but the legend has it that the pagans had tattoos of snakes on their arms, and then they got rid of the pagans by teaching Christianity, and therefore they drove the snakes from Ireland. With that being said, Bob, what's happening on the street of Superior?
I almost said, speaking of snakes, but I wasn't going to do that. Okay, here we got the Crocker Park train here. I think they're a little off course. That again, Don, was a joke. Tough room here, folks.
You know, when you're coordinating 180 units, sometimes they're
a little out of order there. They were supposed to, yeah, that's why we're giggling here, because we expected them about 10 units ago. That's all right.
It's all right. They're here.
You know, the trains don't always run on time.
All right. I think we're back to the millwright and pile drivers local 1090. These marchers are representing the millwright and pile drivers.
You know, and I talk about these guys, I talk about every year. I mean, when they're looking to move big stuff, and I'm talking like, you know, air conditioning units for skyscrapers, these are the folks they call. They know how to wrap it up, they know how to secure it, they know how to lift it, and they know how to get it up or down, whatever they got to do. And it is a dangerous job, and these men get up and go to work every day like it's nothing. Men and women, I apologize. And now the Maid Center coming up. Friends of Maid Center. These folks do an awful lot of stuff for health and wellness. Just a great place. You're looking for help of any kind, you want to help some people out, this is the place to go. Either way. And if you're feeling down, you don't feel good about yourself, you just go to some place like Maid and you start helping other people. You'll feel pretty good pretty soon.
And again, this is the first time in their parade, so we welcome them. Great organization.
Yeah. Doing God's work over there, I'm telling you right now.
And coming down the street is the South Central High School Marching Band.
The Marching Trojans. Well, there's a... Got a pair of flag girls as well. Good stuff there. And they're followed by the Cleveland Right to Life group. Supporting Right to Life here in Cleveland. Good group of folks, advocates for the unborn. And they're out here, they're pretty strong here. I'd say about 50 strong in the unit.
A very large group.
A lot of familiar faces there too. And they have a float coming up. And look at all those little ones. Thank you for choosing life. Good stuff. Some cute kids on that float too.
And next coming up is the How Autism. It's a wonderful group here today that shows that autism does not discriminate. And it appears in every race, gender, age, sexual orientation, and they are led by John Kearney. He's the only gentleman that has shorts on today.
Does he really?
Let's see what Bob is up to on Superior Avenue. Bob?
Okay, I found someone else taller than me. Ma'am, who are you marching with?
The Cleveland Flow Collective.
And what do you guys do?
We are a rogue group of prop and entertainers. We spin things, hula hoops.
Wow. Let's see what you got. Your name?
My name is Casey Sunshine.
Okay, so let's see what you got.
It's a good way to keep warm. Thank you, Bob. Great stuff there.
And she can see above all the entire crowd.
She can. Something I cannot boast about. And I'm not sure, is this the Lake Metro Parks or is that still the Flow Society? That's still the Flow Society.
Yep.
They've got a strong contingent. Look at this.
A lot of swinging going on there.
And a lot of flowing. That's all right. Now, you know, as I was speaking earlier about how, you know, it's like a big family here with the Irish community in Cleveland. And it's kind of funny that how many folks know each other. I don't know if you remember this, Don, but the first time I did this parade, I was right alongside you, and we were talking, and you happened to mention a name. You mentioned your aunt and uncle, Franny Lawler and Helen Lawler. And my jaw nearly hit the table because Franny and Helen were great friends of my parents. They were in my house for communions and christening parties and any other kind of Irish party. They were in my house several times. Great friends. Franny Lawler, one of the most gregarious, wonderful guy, and Helen was just terrific too. And it just goes to show you, you never know when you're going to meet somebody new who's really already kind of a friend. So
exactly.
That was a great thing.
Yes, I miss my uncle and my aunt, and thank you, Tommy. That was
lovely
very
people.
nice.
Lovely people. We just missed the Lake Metro Parks. Sorry about that. They had their hitch wagon and driven by John Squibbs. Also had some miniature horses, and now the International Association of Heat and Frost Insulators. The union members and their families, local number 3, and their Irishman of the Year.
Again, it's so nice to see not only the trades here, but keeping busy with all the building that's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And the resurgence of Cleveland in the last 20 to 30 years.
Well, and it's nice because you know what? This resurgence is also anchored by folks living downtown. The occupancy rates are upwards of 90% in most of these new buildings down here and converted buildings that were already there and used for offices, which are now residential. It's really a great thing to see. We don't roll the sidewalks up anymore like we used to. Just a great thing here. Hey, Bob, are you soaring through the galaxy long, long ago, far, far away?
All right, we're marching with, I would call the Star Wars group. Tell me about this group.
We're the Rebel Legion and the 501st. It's a volunteer organization. We do a lot of charity work.
Fantastic.
And we get opportunity to do stuff like this. We really enjoy it.
Who's marching with us today?
I'm Brian.
Okay. How about the other? Darth Vader's here.
Yeah, Darth Vader's here. We got a Wookiee.
Okay.
You can call him Chewbacca if you'd like.
Yeah.
We have Captain Phasma.
And who's this next to me here?
This is Jedi Mike.
All right, Jedi Mike, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Thank you very much.
High five, Chewbacca. All right, Darth, thank you. Thank
May
you,
the force be with you, Bob. May the force be with you.
Really?
And they're coming such a long time ago from a far galaxy far away. So
but there's more to them than just dressing up. They raise money for charities and they donate. They're an official fan and costuming group, but they raise money for charity. They're the 501st Legion of Star Wars costumers. And they're called the Rebel Legion here in Cleveland. And now we've got the Ghostbusters.
Who are you going to call? Next? Who are you going to call when they're not busy with pesky poltergeists to their local Ghostbuster franchise to support good causes and charities in Cleveland and beyond?
Oh, boy. There you go.
I've seen them around Halloween time, too. I think they're...
Here's the Irish footballers now, St. Pat's St. Charles Gaelic Football Club. They merged a couple years ago after they faced each other in the national championship game in their division. And now they're one club. They consist of players and alumni from the men's club marching today, and also their children and parents of their Gaelic football and hurling program. They're sponsored by the Ohio Irish American News. Great little paper here in Cleveland, been around for 12 years. No one has had a paper that long. John O'Brien Jr. is to credit for that. Great stuff.
And coming up next is the Mentor Irish Firefighters, led by Kevin Patton, Joe Stack, and Dave Arco, retired firemen from the Mentor Fire Department, and their friends and family.
And that is going to wrap up Division 1. Next up, Division 2, and it's led by the West Side Irish American Club. And let me tell you, folks, there's a lot of units or sub-units in the West Side Irish American Club. They're coming up right now. There's their first banner, and now here's their name banner. And now their pipe band is going to be the first one for the West Side Club. Also have their color guard, Drum Major Tim Sweeney, Pipe Major Scott McLeod, Drum Sergeant Taylor Sweeney, and they're playing in memory of Drum Major John Coleman, who led the group last year. John was a terrific guy, had an accident earlier this year, and unfortunately passed away from complications from that. Terrific guy, involved in a lot of stuff. He was also a firefighter, a fire inspector, really, really active in this community, and just a terrible loss, big gaping hole with his loss from the Irish community here.
And then you also the West Side Irish American Club, the Senior Fife and Drum Corps, under the direction of Dr. Bill Hayes and Megan Kilbane.
And they're coming to, I think right now, this was just the, I believe that was the Board of Trustees for the West Side Club. And now here is their Man of the Year. Man of the Year is John Lally, terrific guy. I know Mr. Lally, my kids call him Grandpa Lally. He's used to do the big dance every year. He did the Irish picnic every year, organized it. I mean, all this stuff, someone has to do these things for us to go and enjoy ourselves. And these are the people who do the, the sweeping and the counting of the money and the buying this stuff and getting the food and all that kind of thing. But also, Woman of the Year is Nell Buckley. She's right behind in that car. And Bob Seville, who do you got for us?
Guys, here comes the camera guy. All right, you ready? Okay, sorry, Tracy, tell me about the items you have here. You got some cool stuff.
Well, we make it family affordable so everybody can come out and enjoy this day.
So what do you got, shot glasses? Let's walk down.
Shot glasses, anywhere from headbands to scarves to ties. Anything you could lace, you could ever think.
This is a good one, don't you think, guys? All right, back to you guys. They're selling some cool stuff down here.
Size there, Bob. So we also had the West Side Irish American Club Queen that went by, Bridget Mackin, and her sisters Caitlin, Colleen, and Aaron. I think 2, or maybe all 3 of them are previous queens as well of the West Side Irish Club. And now the Irish drill team, or the ladies drill team, is coming up for the West Side IA. You see them there. Led by Katie McCluskey. She took over, last year was her first year. She took over from her mom, who did it for about 40 years, which is odd because her mom always tells me she's 29. She's a great lady. She was a great lady, Mary McCluskey. And these ladies, I'll tell you, they look terrific. They got the classic uniforms, throwback uniform, and they practice every Sunday, and they work hard. And there's Mary McCluskey right alongside, keeping eyes on Katie, I think.
I can't imagine the hours that they're dedicated to this organization.
And here's the fife and drum, the men's fife and drum. I'm sorry, senior fife and drum. I got to watch that. Dr. Bill Hayes and Megan Kilbane are the directors, and let's hear the song they're going to play. Let's kick it out, guys. Go down to the boot. I marched with this unit for, I think, maybe 12 or 15 years.
Did you play the drums?
And before, no, I was fifer. Fife and drum, yep.
And coming up next is the West Side Irish American Club Pom Pom Unit. It's under the direction of Patty and Megan Hanrahan. This year's captains are Kathleen Kelly, Lavelle, Maeve McCluskey, and Maureen Van Osten.
Now that Patty Hanrahan is the same Patty Hanrahan who is the inside co-chair of the parade. She's a UIS delegate, Irish side delegate from the West Side Irish Club. And now right behind them is the majorettes, some cute little girls here. And they're troopers. I'll tell you, it's cold out there for them, especially for them. They also have their flag corps, on the direction of Christy Cruz and Kelly Dreamer, who are actually sisters. Majorette leaders are Jalecia Cruz and Claire Fox. Flag leaders Maura Huff and Kaylee Wallenhorst.
And I think we just saw the next generation of marchers in the next 20 or 30 years.
Not only that, you saw the next generation of board members and volunteers and bartenders and floor moppers. All those things have to be done, and that's what these clubs do. They get the people who volunteer, they really put their heart and soul into this stuff, and they don't get paid a dime, but they do it because they love it, and they want to meet other people, and they want to support their heritage and the legacy, and it's part of the community. You know, it's a really good thing. Look at these little guys. These are the little kid fifing drums, the junior fifers.
And the next is the Westside Irish American Club membership. The membership of the Westside Irish American Club is led by President John O'Brien.
A lot of familiar faces out there. One of them is related to me, at least one. Now, what you see here, there's about maybe 70, 75 out there today, maybe 100, I don't know. But the club has over 3,000 members. Great asset, been around since 1931. And here's their float.
And this is the Westside Irish American Club. It's 2019 float, the building of St. Coleman's Church. The church was founded in 1880 for the growing Irish community on the west side of Cleveland by Father Eugene O'Callahan. And the present church was built between 1914 and 1918.
It took them 4 years. They hauled a lot of the sandstone down from Sandusky. And the marble. And they celebrate Mass. I was at Mass at St. Coleman this morning with the Westside Club.
And coming up is the Westside Irish American Forever Young, the seniors of the Westside Irish American Club.
And these folks have earned the ride today. The other ones have been doing the working and sweating and organizing.
I'm not seeing more smiles with the people on the sidelines watching the parade or those people in the parade, but lots of smiles all the way around.
And following them is the Cleveland Indians. The home opener is April 1st, guys. Don't forget about that. Going to be an exciting year. And your favorite mascot, Slider, and not to mention the Sugardale hot dogs, also ketchup, mustard, and onion. Who do you root for in the race when they do it at the stadium there, Don?
I am a mustard kind of guy, but I'll tell you that they'll have lots of races this year. Just about every game.
I'll take onion. Although I do know a fellow who was mustard a couple years, or I'm sorry, was ketchup a couple years ago.
Oh.
There's Slider.
And he needs no introduction.
And here are the Cavalier girls, I believe.
And let's see what Bob has on the street. Bob?
Here you go, you ready? Okay, what's your name, young man?
Z.
Okay, how about you?
Savannah.
Michaela.
And your name?
Carter. Aubrey.
How about we all blow our horns together for St. Patrick's Day? You ready? 1, 2, 3, blow. Louder. Let's say Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. Give me 5, give me 5.
And don't forget, guys, St. Patrick's Day ushers out winter and gets us ready for spring, but legislative duties are a full-time job, and that's why you can watch gavel-to-gavel coverage of your Cleveland City Council doing their legislative duties. Their committee hearings only on TV 20, and we are Cleveland. This was all the Cavaliers. Now, they're spread out a little bit. This is their, I forget what they call them. They're not the Dream Team, but something like that. But they entertain during the games, breaks in play, things like that. Can you still do that, Kai? No, you used to do that, didn't you? Yeah.
I think it breaks something at this age.
That's how you got yourself started, right? In the business?
Oh, sure. I'd spin on the floor and they have to call the paramedics.
Boy, right. Well, they're here somewhere today. They went by. You know, they got to rehearse all this stuff. They got to work on this. So imagine all the mistakes you got to make before you get to be this good. And here's their wrap bus. Look at that.
That is a bus.
And they call that the, what do they call that?
That's the Fan Express.
Fan Express, right. And right behind them, this group is just as limber as the Cavs ever were. This is the Lenihan Academy of Irish Dance. And they've got their float here, I believe. It is of St. Mary's on the Flats, the first Catholic church in the Cleveland Diocese, built in 1840. Lasted until about 1888. That's when things started to move further west. All the folks in St. Mary's on the Flats was originally known as the Church Our Lady of the Lake, organized in 1826 by Irish immigrant laborers. This is their float, representing of that. Now, Irish Town Bend was a big area over there. It's you can see it as you take the rapid in from downtown, and you can even see it from the inner belt as you're coming in from the west side. Irish Town Bend there, they're trying to shore up some of the land over there and things like that because it's starting to fall into the river, but that's where there was a huge Irish enclave that lived over there because the land was cheap and it was mosquito infested. So the Irish, of course, were relegated to there. Now here's Lenihan Academy. These are their dancers right now. This is a terrific unit. Every year, these young kids, look at them go. Just great stuff, I'll tell you. They're led by Catherine Lenihan Fox. I have done plays with Kathy and her husband Mike Fox with the Irish Players. She's been involved with everything all over the city. If it's Irish, she's at it. So,
and it is an enormous contingent. They have, I believe, 5 individual units here in today's parade.
These are their boosters here. These are the parents and friends. Now, there's a young man here at the end here. His name is Brandon Asasawa. He was touring, I believe, in the Far East last year. I think he toured in Australia and some other parts with one of Michael Flatley's productions. Terrific dancer, world champion. And he was produced right here by the Lenihan Academy. And he's not the only one either.
Really? And also coming down on Superior Avenue is the Irish Setter Club of Ohio, showing off their Irish pride and offering some slobbery wet kisses. The Irish Setters Club of Ohio enjoys showing much love to the St. Patrick's Day Parade spectators as they stroll down Superior Avenue.
And not to be outdone, you've got the, speaking of slobbery wet kisses, or at least when you're eating some grape jelly, the Geneva Area Grape Jamboree. Get it? Jamboree.
I get it.
It's always held the last full weekend of September in downtown Geneva. Beautiful community over there. You can join their celebration for the grape harvest this year and every year.
Jamboree. That's very punny.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Next is the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, Local 6.
They've got their float there as well. And the North Coast All-Stars bringing up right behind them. Well, there's the painters float there. Behind them there is the All-Stars. Competitive cheer gym in Berea. The girls range from 3 to 18 years old. Tumbling, dance, stunting. Megan Kuhlenschmidt is leading them. And again, putting us to shame. I can do that when I trip coming down the steps.
all you need is a nicey day in Cleveland, and
so I still have it.
Again, over 10,000 participants in today's parade.
This is a big unit. Here we go. She stole your move, John. She stole your move.
That looks painful.
Just to watch. Oh, boy. Good stuff, though. Those kids, great energy.
And having a blast.
And, you know, everyone complains about the younger kids playing video games and, you know, on the computers. You can't learn that stuff on the computer, so good for them. And this is them again. They're still going, these North Coast All-Stars. This is them. They're still tumbling away. A lot of parents in there, it seems. Good thing.
And the parade started on, we were at the Public Square. The parade actually started on Superior and 18th. So they've been walking for about a mile and a half.
They have. Okay, we got Dumbo now. This unit celebrates the release of the new live-action Disney movie Dumbo. But not to be undone, I think, Bob Seville, you getting some exercise?
All right, guys, I'm Bob, and we're with Bob from Cleveland Cycle Tours. Bob, tell us about this apparatus.
This is a 15-passenger bike that we're able to ride around Tremont, Ohio City, downtown, and Kent.
Wow. How many people?
15 people on this bike. We also have bikes that seat 6.
I think this would be a great vehicle for the TV20 family picnic. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bob. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Also for communions, bar mitzvahs, christenings, you name it.
And next is a marching band next to my heart, the St. Edward High School Marching Band.
Are you an alumnus?
I am.
So am I. Sounding good. And their flag corps there as well. Everything under the marching band under the direction of Angelo Cortica, as well as the flag corps. And here's Jesus in the Streets. They're a pro-life organization, one nation under God. That's what their banner says here.
And let's go to Bob on Superior. Bob, what's happening?
Angel. Okay, we're with Angel here. She's got the VIP seating here at the St. Patrick's Day Parade on Public Square, no less. Tell me about your get-up.
Oh, I just came here to enjoy myself. Nothing else to do on a nice day today. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Cleveland. Hey, guys, thank you.
Thanks, Bob. You know, there's probably these people lined up. The parade started at 2 o'clock today, and the reason it was delayed an hour from the traditional 1 o'clock start is because church services and making sure everyone had a chance to
Sunday,
to go to services and then come down and watch the parade and not miss any action.
And boy, the Irish Cultural Festival just picked up pretty big there, went right by us. I think were they trying to avoid us? I don't know. That's a huge festival out at the Berea Fairgrounds every year. Terrific stuff. You want to see some Irish culture and music and everything else and food, you head out to that thing every year. Great, great festival. John O'Brien Sr. and John O'Brien Jr., or as they're known here around the Irish circles, J.O.B. and J.O.B. Jr. They put on a great show there. Awesome stuff. Check them out every July. It's usually the third week of July. Irish Cultural Festival here in Cleveland.
And they put a lot of work into their floats. I mean, to make it look as nice as it does.
Terrific.
Coming up next is the Reality Check dance team. It's a youth dance team based out of Cleveland, with young ladies ranging from 8 to 17. And they strive to empower young ladies through the movement of dance and their creativity.
We did miss Birchwood School of Hawken. That is actually, Hawken has just aligned themselves with this great, terrific school over there on the west side at the old Ascension Church. Birchwood went by with their parents and some of their kids too. We don't want to forget them. Now here's State Rep Tom Patton. Good guy, he's been around. He's in there somewhere.
There he is.
He's the passenger.
Side, yeah.
And Jack Casino,
which is right behind us.
Right behind us.
It's the casino-centric float. Is highlighting all the great and wonderful games and experiences that Jack Casino has to offer.
Hey, it's nice in there. If you haven't been in there, you know, just take a saunter in there, and you don't got to gamble much or any at all. Sit down, have yourself a drink, or just enjoy the atmosphere. The energy there is incredible. Nice place. They also have the Thistledown Racino. Don't forget about that. They're the host of $500,000 Ohio Derby.
And next we have the Wireman Shamrock Club. They're coordinated by Terry Kelly. And this is the kind of car I like to drive here.
Oh, look at this baby coming up. Great stuff. Look at that. In terrific shape, too, isn't it?
Wow.
It's an old Lincoln.
A 1943 Lincoln, it looks like to me.
Yeah, so what's this one coming up here?
This is Cathedral Latin.
I meant the car.
Oh, I don't know.
We went by there.
50 to 1950.
How do you know that? Bob's going to phone a friend on that one. We've got also Notre Dame Cathedral Latin High School Band, the Latin Lion Marching Band, an extracurricular musical ensemble, performs at many events throughout the year, coordinated by Mr. Adam Peisel.
And And they had an additional unit. It is the Alumni Association. And again, this is their first time marching in the parade.
Sound pretty darn good. Ohio Technical College coming up next. Automotive Diesel Tech here in Cleveland. They got a float as well, representing the spirit of the holidays, celebration of the 50th year in Cleveland, training automotive diesel technicians. You know, it isn't what it used to be. You weren't just a you used to be just a grease monkey. These guys got to know all sorts of technical stuff. They got to know all sorts of things that you didn't need to have to know when you're fixing your car. Now you do, and this is the place to find out how to do it and get yourself a good living.
All right, Bob. Well, you hear you're on a rickshaw, Bob. Tell us more about that.
All right, we got Daniel from Channel 19 News. Tell me about your contraption.
It's a tricycle.
How about some horns? What else? You got your phone on there? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, this reminds me of our camera guy, Eddie Malone's car a little bit. Thanks. Enjoy your day.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Great stuff from Channel 19 and 43. And Judge Nancy R. Mcdonough in her 1929 Mercedes-Benz convertible. Now, she is grandfathered in because she was in the parade long before they decided to get that public officials unit going. And she's followed by John Marshall High School Performing Arts Program in ROTC.
And marching band, the color guard with the band, drumline, and high step dance team. They're the Lawyerettes under the direction of Maureen Martin.
Here we go. They're going to kick something off right now.
John Marshall was closed for several years as they rebuilt the entire school. And,
brand new building over there, yeah. Building. And the Ohio Rose of Tralee is coming up. Ohio Rose, it's a pageant held every year. They actually made a partnership with the city of Westlake and Quaker Park, who are now sister cities, Tralee, Ireland, and Westlake. And there's Ohio Rose there.
The next one is coming up, the Knights of Columbus, the 4th degree. The Ohio District 1, Cleveland Diocese 4th degree color guard and honor guard, led by Brandon Robinson, the district marshal.
I tell you, they look pretty darn good, don't they?
Absolutely, and been around for about 150 years. The Catholic Men's Organization.
I can never pull off one of those hats, though. And they're dressed for the day, I'll tell you. Look terrific.
Very good.
Now the International Order of the Blue Gavel. A group of past Commodores from local yacht clubs. They give back to the community. Their parade coordinator is Patrick McAwee, and their president is Pat White.
And coming up next is the Perfectly Imperfect Produce. These are bike riders promoting eliminating food waste and eating healthy. And the vegetables you'll see will be donated to St. Patrick's Church on Bridge Avenue right after the parade.
That's a nice thing, huh?
Yeah, thank coordinator Jody Mitchell. He's riding with her daughter Emma.
But I think maybe right behind them is the Cleveland Hiking Club, because they're looking for some sustenance. Maybe they want that produce. Over 1,000 members of the Cleveland Hiking Club in the greater Cleveland area. And their mission is hiking, social activities, and outreach for youth, as well as promoting healthy exercise. They also work in preservation of trails and green space.
And now the next one is Wycliffe Percussion Team.
Wow. They make the most of those drums, do that?
You can actually feel it here on the street of
I was hoping this next unit was going to stop here, pull over, provide us some sustenance. Great Lakes Brewing Company, their blue antique truck showcasing its Irish heritage. The owners of Great Lakes Brewing Company are the Conway brothers. Was that just the Carey Cub that
Yes, they just passed us.
They hold Irish dancing lessons, come one, come all, or the East Side Irish Club. I think it's Wednesdays or Thursdays. I'm not positive. You can check the website or whatever. But just a great thing. Get your toes tapping, feeling good, make some friends, that kind of thing.
And we just saw the Great Lakes Science Center. Science comes alive as our tie-dye scientists highlight their new exhibit, Vroom. It's all about science and what makes cars go.
Yeah, that's a great place over there.
Yeah, I've been there many, many times.
Yeah. Now the Decor Martial Arts Group. And behind them, I believe, is that Innovative Fitness?
That is. It is a fitness company specializing in exercise with decreased joint impact. They host jump classes. I'm going to sign you up for that one, Tommy.
Those jump boots, look at them. Did you see them?
With their jump boots.
I could use those for getting stuff off the top shelf in the kitchen.
You're not kidding. It's those hard to reach places. Got to get a pair of jump boots.
Yes. They've even got a little vehicle there as well. And the steelworkers. Maybe the steelworkers could use that.
And that's the United Steelers Worker Local 979. And they're coordinated by Matthew Colley.
They certainly are heavy industry. And here they go. They've got a float as well. Look at that.
We just said TV 20 if you didn't hear.
I heard it. Boy, they got a nice contingent. Look at that.
Boy.
It's nice. They got the kids out there, you know, getting involved.
They all have to work tomorrow.
I'm sure they do. And here comes the Irish Northern Aid. They've been working to unite Ireland for close to 50 years, led by Chairperson John Conway with their United Irish Society delegates Kathy Woodford and John Kish. Good group there, the Irish Northern Aid. There they go. Banners and flags.
And we are photographing the parade, and the parade participants have their cell phones out.
Yes, they do.
And recording the people watching the parade.
Yeah, the banner there, if you notice, work for you. One peace, work for justice. That was a quote from Pope John Paul II. And now the Division of Animal Care and Control. Volunteers of City Dogs Cleveland walking with adoptable dogs to raise awareness from the city about the Cleveland Kennel and dogs available for adoption. They got a brand new facility over there at, I think it's 90th in Detroit, 92nd in Detroit, something like that. Brand new building.
And a lot of the dogs here are saying, adopt me. So
yes.
There's a promotion going on.
And they've even got a vehicle here too. The Cleveland Kennel, friends of the Cleveland Kennel. Great dogs from our great city. And why not?
Yeah, and that's great that they're promoting adoption of our little furry friends.
Hello.
And the next float coming down Superior is the Faystar Corporation. This unit consists of Marine safety crew and high school students from Davis Aerospace and Maritime High School who help staff the vessel.
There it is. Here it comes along. You can just get a little glimpse of it there. And they do cite 93-year-old Margaret Field Rabatsky, a lifelong safe boater.
There she is waving. Glad to see.
And on to Division 3. This is the last division of the parade, but plenty more to come, guys.
And it's not a parade without the Murphy Irish Arts Center.
No.
They're an absolute institution in the Irish community.
Oh,
here
yeah,
in Cleveland.
absolutely. Started out as just the Murphy School of Irish Dance, I believe.
And they're celebrating their 40th consecutive appearance at the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Great stuff, great school.
And their marching unit has junior and senior dancers. They've been dancing from 7 to up to 13 years of experience.
If you don't know the steps by 13 years, you can join me sitting down on the side of the hall. They also have a drama team, soloists that represent the United States at World Championships. They won a big award a couple years ago, World Championship Award. And this year, I believe, they're going to North Carolina. I think it's next month or the month after, to compete in that competition again. They dance in 40 shows in the month of March because it is the season, and usually nursing homes, senior citizen groups, that kind of thing, just to bring, you know, a little bit of entertainment, fun, and something to do for all those folks. That's a good thing.
And the relationships they build.
Oh yeah, lifelong.
Lifelong, from the time they're little ones to the time they become adults.
Well, I mean, just as an example, my sister and my wife were best friends who met through Irish dancing. So I never would have gotten married, and I wouldn't have had my kids if it were not for Irish dancing.
There you go. Good case in point.
You know, so it's exactly what you were talking about. And there was their alumni. Bob, you got some cookies for us? I hear you might have found a Girl Scout or two.
All right, guys, I'm with the Euclid Girl Scouts. I was a Boy Scout in Weeblo, so I appreciate you guys. What's your name?
Tasia.
Okay, how about you?
Samaya.
Okay, and what's your name?
Camille.
Okay, wave the TV20, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Bob. I got my cookies. Did you get your cookies, Tony?
I did not get my cookies. My daughter's group, I don't think she's involved anymore. This year is the first year she was not.
I'm a Thin Mint fan myself, but
I love those Samoas.
Yeah.
And the peanut butter ones too. I forget the name. And here's St. Pascal's Rascals, St. Pascal Baylon, the Clowns and Helping Hands Ministry, their 20th year, led by founders Deacon Joe Bourgeois and Bob Yukovic. Got 75 volunteers who serve people with hope and love in need of food and clothes and other necessities. They also project a message in Cleveland and surrounding areas. The service includes attending the less fortunate and also the homeless on a weekly basis. Clowns, who are called the Rascals, visit nursing homes and other functions and help the disabled. Again, folks doing something. They're not getting paid. They're not, you know, looking for recognition or a big spotlight. They're just trying to help out in the community and help those who need it.
And they are quite the veterans of the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Oh, they are. They've been around a long time.
For a long time.
And here's a library. Well, I should have brought my overdue books. Could have just handed them
That's
to
going
one
to
of these
cost
folks.
you. But in any event, we had the Cleveland Library. They're on the road to readings.
Felton Thomas Jr. is the director over there. This is their 150th year.
The Cleveland Library is only maybe about 200 feet away here from just off of Public Square.
We used to be over there, actually, right adjacent to that for the broadcast. And they're still going. Look at this. They got another vehicle. Another mobile library, I believe.
You know, it used to be books, but now it's so many other things
when it
comes to the library.
Yes.
And just trying to get all the different media together, and but it's nothing like reading a book.
Right, and they also have the e-books, and they return automatically. Here's the Celtic Nations ladies drill team. I believe that's who they are. A precision drill team. A few guys in there playing the drums. They're led by Janet Smerdell. And here we go, their precision drill. This is one of their formations. And you know who's coming down here?
I do.
You see him.
I do. He's been around for a long time. It's the superhero of weeds.
You got it.
The
weed man.
And he is leading the unit, saving us from dandelions and chickweed.
Well, you know what? Someone has to, because I'm terrible with that stuff.
I struggle with it too. Leave it to professionals, I guess. But that is one outstanding looking club.
Look at that.
I wonder if they're called, the small ones are called weedettes. I just a thought. But smiling and waving.
And now the Lupus Foundation of America Greater Cleveland Chapter walking to raise awareness of lupus and those afflicted with it. And their vehicle there.
And coming down the street.
Here come the Wildcats.
There we are, St. Ignatius High School Marching Band and Flag Corps under the direction of Dan Hamlin, Mr. John Mullen, and Ms. Natalie Hamlin.
Terrific school over there on the west side, just over the bridge there. Ohio City neighborhood. Jesuit school. Big rival of our alma mater as well.
Exactly.
But boy, they put out some great students, some smart kids. And they do an awful lot in the community too, as far as homeless and things of that nature too.
They really do care about the community.
Yeah, they do. They really do. I mean, they live the message, you know. Great to see. Those are some good-looking uniforms too, Don.
I know. They look brand new.
Oh, listen to that now. Ricks and Mellow.
All right, we're going to get some more kangaroo jump boots from Crazy Fit. This is the fitness group. And inspired from the owner's many years of Irish dancing.
Well, you couldn't wear those with the hard shoe, I'll tell you that right now.
Nope. And they've been dancing now for about 1.5 miles. They're going to be pretty sort of, I would be, sort of.
I don't know, that might help them. that might ease the after effects a bit.
Could be. And again, that Crazy Fit is the first time in the parade. Hope to see them next year.
Now we got Polka Time, Ohio just went past. And Bob Seville, I know you've got somebody for us.
Tell me about this group you're with, sir. What's your name and where are you from?
Colin Weaver, Lakewood, Ohio. And these are a collection of our girls who are here and enjoy the parade.
Wow, that's quite a group there. Do you guys want to say Happy St. Patrick's Day to Cleveland? 1, 2, 3. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Cleveland. All right, thank you guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Give me 5, give me 5, give me 5. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, thanks. Watch out, Mike.
Thanks, Bob.
Love to see those young kids.
Now coming up next is the Pipe Fitters Local 120. They're honoring the Irishman of the Year, Dave Breslin, Sean Breslin, and Tom Breslin Jr.
I wonder if they're related.
I would think so. Just
so,
a wild guess.
Well, you know, they probably couldn't nominate one without the other two getting a little bit out of joint.
Right.
Gentlemen, I don't know you. I'm just making a joke, okay? They might come looking for me. You never know. Here they are. That guy looks awful comfortable with just that shirt and a scarf.
Yeah, just enjoying the day.
And so does he behind the wheel of the car. He looks comfortable too.
Again, thank you for joining us. We are TV 20, St. Patrick's Day Parade for 2019, the 177th, marching down Superior Avenue here in Cleveland.
It's been a great day, I'll tell you. A lot of people, a lot of people, just spectators, you know, all around us here. Great to see.
You know, coming down here today, it just, people must have gotten here like at 6 o'clock in the morning, it seems like.
Some may have.
So,
what time did you ride your unicycle down here, Don?
It's in the shop right now, I guess.
Is
that's
it?
what but
you could borrow one here.
But thank goodness we got the St. Helens Unicycle Drill Team from Newberry, Ohio. And they first began riding in 1965 under the direction of their pastor.
And boy, are their legs tired.
Oh my goodness. And for 25 years, students of the school appeared in countless parades and performances all over the eastern United States, including 2 inaugurations. I don't know, I have a hard time balancing on 2. I can't imagine.
This group just amazes me every time. Yeah, it's something. It really is something. And I mean, look at these young girls here.
And the big tall ones. And then also coming down, you'll see these are probably 10 feet unicycles. One, how do you get on? And certainly, how do you get off?
We just saw the cute ones. Now we're going to get into the ones who are really skilled in this. They have been around the country, not just those inaugurations. They do the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. They've been to the Orange Bowl, the Tangerine Bowl, the Cotton Bowl parades, and they even do the Football Hall of Fame Festival down in Canton as well. 60 kids and adults from kindergarten, amazing, on up to 2 one-wheel grandmas. They have 2 one-wheel grandmas.
And I love their motto. It's not that we don't know better. We just can't help ourselves.
Pretty funny. Now here, I think, is this the truck that has the ladder? Because I remember last year I was wondering, how do they get up on those things? And here it is. Look at the back of this truck.
The secret's out.
That's the secret,
okay.
yes. I'd be dizzy at the fourth rung of that ladder. So I think...
All right, so we're going to...
Bob Seville, you got somebody from Buckeye Nation?
Okay, I didn't know Packy Malley was Irish.
Oh, yeah, just a wee bit.
Now, I saw a big banner with CHOC flying over the parade.
Yeah.
Is that Malley's chocolate?
Of course it is.
And who are you marching with here today, as if we don't know?
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
Thank you, Packy. OH.
Hi-yo!
Go Bucks!
Thank you, Bob. That's the OSU Alumni Club of Greater Cleveland.
Packy Malley, I'll tell you, Packy Malley is everywhere. That fella is at everything. I'm telling you, it's just amazing to me. Packy's a great guy. He runs the Reggae Fest. He also does his own DJing service. He's a bartender extraordinaire around town. And he also is part of the Malley Candies organization. And evidently a Buckeye as well.
Where's Buckeye with us?
There's the Alumni Club. And now don't forget, folks, from baseball to boxing to football, TV 20 gives you the best in local seasonal sports, featuring the best youth athletes. From 7-year-olds to 18-year-olds, TV 20 gives you a variety of sporting events. TV 20 Sports only on TV 20, because we are Cleveland. Now that fella, he is way ahead of everybody. He's moving along. He with the Knights of St. John, St. Rocco Commandery 330 of the Knights of St. John, formed in 1925. They served the Catholic Church in Cleveland by escorting bishops and priests in our area at confirmations, graduations, and other religious functions. Didn't know that. Interesting group there. Now here we have Cleveland Polonia. Remember I was talking about how just all the ethnicities in this city, this is a day for them as well, not just the Irish. This is Cleveland Polonia, the Polish parishes of St. Barbara, Casimir, Immaculate Heart, Polish National Alliance, the Polish Roman Catholic Union, John Paul Cultural Center, all marching together today to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day. What a great thing.
Yes.
That's terrific.
St. Casimir salutes our Ohio brothers and sisters.
There's We Trust in Jesus sign, banner. Some of their folks there. And they are not giving way. They're taking their time, enjoying the spotlight here. They are not giving way to that right behind them. Yeah.
That is a monster float, and that is Tim's Wild Creations. This monster van is pulling a giant robotic dog.
Just amazing.
And we also have a monster car and go-kart. And then they follow up with that is a monster truck pulling a two-headed robotic dragon.
And I think all this got started when this gentleman, oh, look at that. Where was that when I was picking up my prom date?
I think if you picked a prom date, you would not go on a prom date.
No, the father would not let her out of the house if that happened.
As a father of a daughter, I said, no, Tommy.
But this guy just started building this stuff, and it just took off. There he is. Look at that. Oh, boy. Look at that.
Tim Willis built those. What a labor of love.
Great stuff.
That's a lot of work. And next we have the Superheroes to Kids in Ohio. They provide costume visits to children and families who are in hospitals, and they help those who are facing or overcoming adversity.
Yeah, what a nice thing, huh?
Spider-Man is here. I think we've got Green Lantern.
Oh, there are the Flash is out there. Wonder Woman. Just a nice thing, isn't it?
And that's somebody who was part of that organization. And again, just the smiles on these kids if they're hospitalized and really doing some great work.
Well, think about, folks, or, ourselves. You're in the hospital and you're facing some pretty tough stuff. Imagine if you're a kid, and anything that can help ease that pain and that misery and that fear for those kids is just a terrific thing.
Yeah, getting a visit from Batman.
Yeah, these folks should be commended. That's just a great thing. Again, give them to the community. Give it your time.
And they take a lot of pride in making their costumes look as authentic as they possibly can.
And of course, now right behind them, the Lake County Captains. It's almost springtime. That's Skipper, their mascot, Lake County Captains. Great stadium over there as well, over the east side of town. In fact, there was an Irish festival over there. The East Side Festival was over there for several years. Great venue. Great place for a ball game. Holy Name, Green Wavers now.
And now we're hearing the sounds of the Holy Name High School Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Evan Campus. And the drill team advisor is Monica Eckerly.
And there's Colleen Day, Colleen Corrigan Day right there in the back there. She's very active in the community here. And I'm sorry, I have to take that back. They're not the Green Wavers, they're the Green Wave. My wife will be on me about that one. She went there. Here's the Metro Parks, too. Along with Q104, their personalities up there on the water taxi.
Yeah, they brought a water taxi with them. And that'll be very busy this summer, I'd imagine.
Oh, yes. Bob Seville. Let's talk to somebody. Huh, Bob? What do you got?
Okay, guys, I'm with Tim Corrigan on the Corrigan family float.
Best float in the parade.
Tell me who's with you here.
The whole family, Tom Corrigan Jr., Tom Corrigan Sr., all the family, all the cousins.
How about the float itself? You got a Celtic cross here? What else
it represents all the Catholic churches from Ireland that are here in the diocese.
Right. And how Irish are you?
88.5%.
Not bad. God bless you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
You as well.
All right, thanks, Tim. All right, take care. Well done.
Thank you, Bob. I was going to tell folks just exactly what the Corrigan family was, but what he said pretty much sums it up. The Corrigan family name, one of the many Irish family names in Cleveland, and now right behind them, I believe it's the Elevator Constructors Local 17.
And it's led by Business Representative John Driscoll and President John Patton, installing, servicing, and maintaining elevators and escalators in Northeast Ohio. And yes, I can't help it, but business is looking up.
Well, your predecessor said it has its ups and downs, right?
Okay.
So, you know. And they got the kids out again, which is great. You know, these kids are taking part.
And parades like this are always bringing out the most talented of performers in our beautiful city. But for every other day of the year, there's plenty of arts and culture on TV 20. From music to plays to dance to poetry, you can watch arts and culture programming on TV 20. Arts and cultural programming only on TV 20. We are Cleveland.
And speaking of the arts there, Don, it's the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, different kind of painters. District Council number 6, families and the members, International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. They were here today, just went by, you saw them. And coming up, is this the, Bike Cleveland on the way, rolling up on us.
Bike Cleveland is dedicated to advancing cycling and strengthening neighborhoods through Northeast Ohio. Their volunteers are committed to safe cycling, education, and healthy transportation and recreation. And a word of safety for everyone. Watch for bikes, give them 3 feet. I remember back in the 70s, you get those banana bikes. And,
remember that?
These are much more sophisticated than that, but got us around.
And let me just take a quick minute here to recognize, I know you spoke of Kevin McGinty earlier, but also Roger Wiest, who was in your chair 2 years ago. He's also Grand Marshal after that, and then he also did the podium, or the announcing of the units last year on the reviewing stand. Roger passed away back in December. Great guy. He did a radio show on WRUW, and he was kind enough to ask me to do a little bit of 10-minute segment on entertainment and calendar on that, and just a big loss to the Irish community. And I just wanted to salute Roger Wieston for everything he did in the community, too. So, big loss for us. Here's the Asian Festival, folks, celebrating Asian culture in Northeast Ohio for Asian Pacific American Heritage Month in May. It's a great festival. I was out there. Food's terrific, the people are terrific, and so is the music. And the Cleveland Dragon Dance Team, the Yuma Daiko Japanese Drumming, the Shaolin Kung Fu School of Arts, all sorts of stuff at the Cleveland Asian Festival this year, May 18th and 19th at East 27th and Payne.
So mark your calendars.
I'll tell you, it is fascinating. It really is. I was just blown away. Terrific stuff.
And we are down to probably our last 5 units for today's parade.
Getting down there, and what do we have here? The Rising Star?
We should be having the Boy Scouts of America, which provides to Northeast Ohio youth from Sandusky to Conneaut.
Yeah, but where are their cookies, Don?
They do not have cookies,
They do not
as far
have
as I know.
cookies.
And we want to thank Brittany Dunn, who coordinated the team here today.
There's an awful lot of them. Several years ago, there was the Boy Scouts, I'm not calling it a jamboree, with their convention, or it was in Cleveland, and there were 10,000 of them, and they all marched in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. They were their own division, I believe. It was 8 or 10 years ago. Something to see, I'll tell you. It really was.
Of course, the Cub Scouts.
All the way from Middlefield, those folks.
And hopefully some of them will become Eagle Scouts, which is the highest honor that a Boy Scouts can bestow when they're 18.
My brother Pat was one of those. Now look out, you got the Burning River Roller Derby coming up. They compete here in North Olmsted and Euclid, so west side and east side both represented. No matter what side of town, you can check them out. And I believe next, well, they're still going at it. Look at that. Yeah, I can't do that either, John.
Remember watching roller derby many years ago?
From the Akron Armory.
Yeah, exactly.
And the old Cleveland Arena.
They looked like the ladies I remember, but...
Yeah, I remember that. It was hilarious. We used to watch that religiously.
Yes.
Myself and my 5 brothers.
I never really understood what they were trying to do, but it was a lot of fun watching.
Look, they were trying to beat each other up, which was pretty much what me and my 5 brothers were trying to do as well. We just didn't have the skates.
They didn't have roller skates on, exactly.
And I think we have the Ohio Irish American News coming up on us now, bringing us the latest information on all things Irish in the greater Cleveland area throughout the state of Ohio. Owner and editor John O'Brien Jr. driving the van. He didn't get somebody to drive it for him. He's working today as well. John's a good guy, doing a lot of stuff. He's also spokesman for, I believe, the county council, I believe, or the county executive, and also the sheriff. Good guy, John. And these the oh, he's still there. There's the Irish American News, the second van. I'll be darned. You know, a lot of folks have tried to get an Irish newspaper going in this town, and none has lasted as long as John. John's been doing this, I think it's 11 or 12 years, did it say here? No one else ever got a foothold with that. He has, and it's really blossomed. It's a great little paper. I say little, it's not little.
You just saw a 1962 Chevy Impala from the American Cruisers. They comprise of classic vintage and street car rods dating back to the 1920s. And the last unit of today's parade is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Why not? We're gonna rock it out. Little Steely Dan there.
Steely Dan.
And there's the flossers. Now, I know you can do that.
I'm not sure that's an Irish dance, but it looks good anyway. But
everybody's doing it. My daughters are unbelievable at it.
But that concludes today's parade here in downtown Cleveland. I'd like to thank TV20 and, of course, the United Irish Committee and the St. Patrick's Day Parade for having us. Again, thank you so much.
And that's going to do it for the 2019 St. Patrick's Day Parade from right here on Superior Avenue, Public Square in downtown Cleveland on TV20, the 177th running. Join us next year for the 178th. We will be here, and we hope you will be too.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. For Don Vavris, I'm Tom Malloy. Thanks for watching. We are Cleveland.